Alright then my friends, so now we've got Codex Cloud set up to work on our project, we can start asking it to run some tasks and make some code changes. But before we make any changes, I just want to show you the current state of the application it's going to do some work on. So this is a Next.js application, and at the moment it's basically just the UI of a little project called Yumpair, which is meant to be a food pairing site where users can pair together different foods, then other users can rate those pairings, etc. There's no backend or anything like that wired up to this right now. We're just going to be focusing on the front end and the UI for this course. So now we're going to get Codex working on a few different little tasks for this project. So then, how do we now assign a task to Codex to run on the cloud for this application? Well, all we need to do is first of all make sure the correct environment is selected down here, and then the correct branch is also selected, the one that we want Codex to either look at or branch off from. In our case, that's going to be the main branch. And then we can just start typing something right here. Now, before we do that, we actually have two options. We can either just chat with Codex about the code in the project, where Codex doesn't actually make any changes, just reads your code and chats with you about it, or we can actually ask Codex to make some code changes to the project. So let's start by asking Codex a question about the repo to see if it's got a good idea about what the project is about, what moving parts there are, and so forth. So we're going to say, can you explore the code base and give me a brief summary of this project, right? So once you've written that, you just need to choose the ask option and not the code option. And that way Codex won't start making any code changes. And when we do that, Codex is going to fire up this task. Even though we're just asking it a question, it's still counted as a task. And Codex still spins up a container to run the code in so it can analyze it. And we'll see that task after a moment down here in the task list. So this is where all of your current tasks are going to be listed. And then you can archive tasks once they've been completed. For now, I'm going to click on this one to see what's going on with it. And when we click on that, we can either wait on this screen until Codex completes the task and responds to us here, or we can click on this link to view the task logs in real time as it runs. If we do that, we're going to see everything Codex is doing on the right, from setting up the environment to reading the files and all the reasoning and steps it takes in between. And you can also make this side panel right here, which is where Codex will eventually reply, a little bit wider if you wanted to as well by moving this around. So then Codex has now finished this task, and you can see all the logs over here on the right if you scroll right down. I'm not going to go through them because there's far too many, but it's basically looking at all the different files and analyzing the code. And then once it's finished, it gives us a reply right here, which includes a summary of the app, and it says Yumpair is a Next.js application for discovering and sharing flavorful ingredient pairings, inviting users to suggest combinations such as strawberries plus balsamic, etc., etc. Then it lists some key features like the homepage that we've got, the create pairing page, and it's picked up on the unit test as well. Now, it's not done any test because I just asked it a question about the application. I didn't ask it to implement any kind of new features. But that is an example of how we can just basically chat with Codex and get it to look at the code base and give us a response. Now, if you wanted to carry on that chat, you could do right down here. And you could just ask it a follow-up question, and then you could choose either to ask it something or turn this into a task where it actually performs some code changes. Now, I'm not going to do any of that right now. I'm just going to go back over to the dashboard right here where we see this task. Now, if you want to archive this task, if you're done with it, you can do by clicking on this button right here, the archive button, and then if we go over to archive, you can see all of the tasks I recently had, including some other ones. Okay, so now we've asked Codex a question about the project, let's give it some real work to do. What I'd like to do is add some more fields on the form to create a new food pairing, which is going to be a description field, and also somewhere a user can add some comma-separated tags. So I'm going to ask Codex to work on this by pasting in the following prompt, which says, can you add two more fields to the new food pair form? One, a short description field, and two, a field to add tags which are comma separated. The tags should be shown within the input field as a pill design when a user adds a comma, and each one should contain a cross to delete them again. Duplicate tags should not be allowed. The two fields should stack on top of each other. So that's the prompt, and notice it's fairly precise, and I've actually made an effort recently to make my prompts a little bit more precise and keep the AI models on track. But now let's kick this off by hitting the code button, not the ask button this time. And when we do that, we should see a task down here after a moment, which we can then click on to go to that task and view the logs and whatnot. And again, Codex is spinning up another brand new container here, which it does for each new cloud task. But this time, it's also going to start making some code changes. And it does this in its own remote environment, so it's not touching our main code base in case we don't like what it does. And if we don't like what it does, well, we can just discard the task and move on to a new one. All we need to do now then is just wait for this task to finish. Alright, so it looks like Codex has finished that task, and it gives me a summary of what it's done right here. It also tells me what testing it's done, and those tests have passed. It provides a screenshot down here, which is a nice feature. So if we click on that, we can see the new fields down here, a short description and any tags. So that's nice. It looks good. And then any files that it's changed, we're going to see the diffs right here. So we can scroll through the diffs over on the right. You can see this menu we've got at the top. We've got the preview, which is the screenshot, the diff, which is all the code changes. So we could scroll through those and take a look at all those code changes, and then also the logs as well. Also up here we have this button to create a PR. So I'm going to click on this now to have Codex create that PR. And then after a moment that button should change to a view PR button, which we can click on again to open that on GitHub. So then here we go. This is the PR that Codex made, and we can see it added a description summarizing what changes it made to the code. It also added a link to the task on Codex as well, which is quite nice. And then up here we can see the branch that Codex made to work on these changes, and by default these branches all start with Codex, then a /, and then whatever the feature might be. You can, I think, change this in your Codex settings back on the Codex site, but we just kept the defaults. So we could review the changes here on the PR right now, but I just want to preview this branch locally on my computer so that I can view this change in a browser before we merge it. Okay, so in VS Code, I'm on the main branch currently, and now I'll run a git fetch to pull down the latest refs for all the branches on the remote. Then I will just switch to the new branch by running git switch and then pasting in that new branch name. And once I've done that, I can hit enter to switch to that branch, and I should have all the changes on this branch locally. And I could view those changes and that code directly here in VS Code, but also preview the changes now in a browser. So I've already got the dev server running, and now I just need to visit localhost port 3000 to view this site. And by the way, I can do this because I already had a local copy of the repo that Codex is working on my computer, and it was fully up to date with the remote one before Codex started making any changes. So all I needed to do was bring down that new branch into my local repo. Now again, if you're completely new to Git and GitHub and this is going over your head, I would highly suggest learning at least the basics of that before you start playing around too much with Codex Cloud, because Codex heavily involves GitHub in its workflow by making new branches, opening PRs and all that jazz. So if you want to master Git and GitHub first, then I do have that masterclass on my pro site, and the link to that is down below the video. Okay, so if we go to the Make a Yumpair page, which is where the form is, and scroll down, we can see those two new fields right here. We have the description, so I'll say an awesome pair, and then we have the tags, and we should be able to add some. So let's say sweet, and then a comma, and yeah, that appears. It looks pretty nice. And if we click on the cross, it goes away. Let's try adding a duplicate, because we did say we shouldn't be allowed duplicates. I'm going to say sweet again, then a comma to add it, and yeah, it doesn't add the sweet twice. Let's say fruity and then a comma, and yeah, everything works there. So let's also try and reset these fields by clicking on the reset button, and that works as well. Awesome. Okay, so at this point, I might be happy with the work that Codex has done, and I want to merge that new feature branch into main. So let's quickly do that, and we can also delete the branch it was working on too, since we won't need that anymore. And at this point, I'd probably want to update my local main branch by pulling those changes on main down. Also, we can head back to the Codex dashboard right now, where we can still see that task down here in the task list. And since that task is complete, we could now archive it by clicking on this little icon right here. Then we can switch to the archive tasks by clicking on the archive tab. As of yet, I don't think there's a way to permanently delete the tasks. I'm sure that's going to come at some point in the future. But anyway, now we have chatted with Codex about our project, and we've also assigned Codex a coding task, which it completed on its own feature branch. Then we've asked it to make a PR for that new feature. We've previewed the feature locally, and then we've merged it into main on the remote repo. In the next lesson, we'll take a look at how Codex can review its own code changes and pull requests on GitHub.